MacKenzie, it was made clear by the court today that the president is supposed to appoint and to dismiss. That is why MK Party is taking Mr. Ramaphosa to Constitutional Court. Listen to this very clear.
That's one thing and one thing only. There is no power to suspend. It's appoint, dismiss, nothing in between. There is no such thing as an acting minister. These ideas are anathema to the notion of what a minister does in the South African context under Chapter 5 of the Constitution. So let me take the court to Chapter 5, but before I do that, I want to just mention two cases. The one is a case referred to in the Minister's Heads of Argument. It's in paragraph 61 of the Minister's Heads, where he mentions a case called Impele versus Government of the Republic of South Africa, 1996 Siskar case. It's a judgment of Judge Heath, where Justice, then Advocate Madlanga, acted for the applicant. And the same issue arose in respect of a premier who suspended an MEC. And what the minister says is, like by like, there, Justice Heath, or Judge Heath, found that there was a power to suspend as an implied power. But what Justice Heath did was he analyzed the act, the interim constitution when it came to premier's powers. And one of the important aspects that we would suggest, which is different to this case, there the premier had an obligation to consult before suspending or before dismissing in particular. So the premier could not dismiss other than after consultation. Here there is nothing like that. Here, tomorrow morning, the president can wake up and say, the Springboks are doing well, I don't need a minister of sport. There's no punitive aspect, there's no hearing, there's no RG. It's wholly within the prerogative. I use that bad word, prerogative. It's wholly within the discretion of the president. Wholly within this discretion. And if there is a power to suspend as suggested by the president in this case, oh well, let's see what the commission comes up with. Because I can't and I don't want to dismiss the Minister of Police because of untested allegations. That hamstrings the president in the way that he conducts his executive authority. It doesn't help the president, it hurts the president. So that's the first case that I want to talk to. The second case is Masetla. And this goes to the heart of what I'm going to debate. Masetla, there was a post, a constitutionally established post of head of particular institution. All the other cases, there are posts where a person is appointed to the post. In the case of cabinet, there is no post. And I take the court to Chapter 5 of the Constitution to demonstrate that point. Because if there is no post as such, the entire debate that we've heard this morning must be seen in a different light. So if one starts with Chapter 5, and it's the whole of Chapter 5, not one particular section. And remember that Chapter 5 contemplates an acting president in terms. So, for example, if the president is outside the country, Constitution says there's an acting president and how it works. No such provision for an acting minister. Why not? Because that's the constitutional structure. Whatever Australia might say, whatever Namibia might say, we have an acting president at times, no acting ministers. I mean, the simplest thing in the world for the Constitution to talk to an acting minister. But it doesn't. But it does talk to an acting president. So we start off there. Now, just before I actually turn to Chapter 5 in detail, the president says 91.2 is the power, the implied power. The minister says, if I understand him correctly, it's 91.2 read with 98. But my submission is a very simple one on the minister's argument. If 98 has any impact upon 91.2, it's the exact opposite of that which the minister purports, for the reasons I'll come to. So that's the background. I know I'm going to go quickly. So the executive authority, 85, and then it talks to the assumption of office of the president. 90, I've mentioned the concept of an acting president. And then 91, here we start with all the difficulties that we submit give rise when it comes to the President and the Minister's arguments. 91. The Cabinet consists of the President, etc. 91.2. The President appoints Deputy President and Ministers, assigns their powers. That's important. Assigns their powers and functions and may dismiss them. So what happens? There's no post of a Minister of Police. At the next election, the new President can have whatever cabinet he chooses. He can have 100, he can have 50, he can have 20. There's no post. So he appoints a minister, he assigns their powers and functions.